All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Wednesday Recovery Coaching Call. My name is Omar Pinto. Today is October 14th, episode number 23. And so, real quick, just to check in with Tree Life. So you were struggling a little bit this week. Expand a little on that.
Man, I don't know. I guess I've been in a funk for at least a week. I'm still trying to do the routine as much as possible, but it seems like some days I would be more effective banging my head off of the wall. And I don't know. I guess I struggle with perfectionism. Maybe I'm too ambitious. I don't know how to keep my ego in check with humility. I want to do massive big things, and that's my goals and ambitions for what I want to do with my life seem like, I don't know, unrealistic, but totally attainable. And, there's a lot of uncertainty involved. And I know that I have to apply a lot of effort into my recovery. So I struggle with the balance and the patience thing. Am I in recovery too much? Am I doing too little? Like what's going on? Yeah, man, my head just stays spinning, and it's the one thing I told myself today is that I can tell myself right now that I'm working the hardest I have ever worked in my recovery out of all the times that I've ever tried. And so the amount of faith that I have is, I'm not gonna relapse because that's not a choice, but sometimes it's dragging my feet in the sand, and I don't know why. It's like trying to drive a 4-wheel drive car with all of your brakes locked, and all you're doing is burning smoke down the street and leaving rubber on the road. And that's how I'm feeling with my life right now.
Okay. That's a great analogy. So 4-wheel drive, hitting the gas with all the brakes on. So I'm just burning rubber. So I want you to just close your eyes for a moment. Okay. Just take a deep breath. Because that's take another one. Just breathe while I walk you through this. And I want you to just visualize what you just described. I want you to just visualize that 4-wheel drive, the noise it's making. You've got it in gear. All the brakes are locked up. That's how it feels like in your life currently. It's a beautiful visualization and representation. What does it mean to you as I kind of walk you through this, and as you visualize this big 4x4 trying desperately to move forward, but all the brakes are on and I'm just spinning my wheels? What comes to mind as I walk you through this?
It don't look good. It's it don't look good.
Wait a minute. Hold on. What's the truck look like?
I mean, the truck's pretty, man. It's a pretty truck. We gotta
Right.
be.
Okay, so describe the truck to me.
Uh, I mean, it's got a couple dings on it because it goes off road quite a bit, and it's my favorite color is green, so we'll call this a green truck.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna look more like a Jeep Wrangler because that's my style.
Okay. I'm picturing it.
Right now I can't. Yeah, I can't. Yeah. And
so it
it's
is
got
pretty.
them big meaty tires. Yeah.
Okay, I'm picturing it. It's got the lift, right? It's green. It's got big mud tires. Like it's beautiful, but you said it doesn't look good.
Yeah, because I can't see out of it because there's so much smoke from laying all that rubber down.
Ah.
Windows anywhere.
So here's what's coming to me. If it is literally on, if the car is on and the wheels are spinning, it means it works. So you have everything you need to move forward, and you're the only one in your way. Because you're the one with
Sounds
the
about
foot
right.
on the gas and on the brakes. So what
Yep.
does that mean as I describe that to you?
Choice. I am choosing to go forward and go nowhere at all.
All right. And now, how does that feel as you say it?
Conflicting as fuck.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But if you are the problem, guess what?
I'm the solution.
That's right. Okay. So what suggestion would you give yourself?
I mean, take my foot off the brakes, I guess, and lighten up on the gas a little bit so we can go at a comfortable speed here.
Take your foot off. Take your foot off the brakes and let off the gas a little. So you can go at a comfortable pace. Does this make sense to anybody else but me? What's coming to you, Tree Life?
I need to stop being an asshole to myself.
You need to stop trying to go so fast. There's a part of you that knows. Imagine that you've got one foot on the gas, one foot on the brake, and they're both pedal to the metal. That's what you're visualizing. You're visualizing this Jeep burning rubber. The only way that it's doing that is I've got my foot all the way down on the brake and I've got my foot all the way down on the gas. So what you just described here as a solution is, whoa, let off the gas. Let off the brake and let off the gas as well. Okay. Just add a little bit of gas so we can go at a comfortable speed. And then I said, what does that mean to you? It means I can choose. So the only thing that is conflicting you right now is what?
My brain.
No. What to choose. That's it. I don't know what to choose.
Right.
That's it. You're in a buffet. There are 600 options, and you can only pick 3.
Shit.
What if I pick the wrong choice? What if it doesn't taste good? What if it's too cold? What if they undercooked it? What if it's got salmonella? Wow, what a horrible place to be. What a horrible place to be. A million options, and I don't know what to choose. That's all it is. I'm afraid to make a mistake. I have all these big dreams. You even talk about it here: perfectionism, obsession, goals and ambitions, lots of uncertainty, balance, and patience. This is all, you've got, I hope everyone's listening here. We have all the answers inside of us. We just don't know how to read the map. All the information is available to us. We're just not understanding the outline or the programming or whatever. And so sometimes it's so important to just come into a space where I can just kind of talk about what's going on in my head. Beautiful imagery as well. the fact that he gave me that image, I immediately knew where he was at. But sometimes I need a little bit of help. Okay, so now take a deep breath. And just let it all settle. Let it all settle. Let it all settle. What's your next move? Breathe.
And I think the next move is definitely to stay in a program and to continue getting the help and the insight and awareness that I need to steadily move forward. I mean, I spoke with my therapist and she mentioned the topic of oversaturation in recovery. Like, and this is the aspect of me putting the gas to the floor, like just all recovery, all life, all day long, recover, get better, don't do the same mistakes. And at a certain point, that's just way too much. Too much of a good thing is a terrible thing. And I mean, that's the life of an addict, I guess. But I mean, I don't know, I guess it's not that I have problems loving myself, but sometimes I have problems assuring myself that everything's going to be okay, or trusting the process. I have more trust in I have love issues, I think, and I think a lot of that accumulates just from my life and wanting to be able to be something or somebody, and not getting an opportunity, not getting a chance. Failing, dropping the ball when I do get the chance and stuff like that. And it just puts me in an interesting position to question myself frequently.
Okay, so two things. I'm going to recommend that you watch The Peaceful Warrior. Okay, write that down. Peaceful Warrior. It's an older flick. It's with Nick, I think it's Nick Nolte. All right. It's all about what we're talking about here. And number two is trusting the process. Your parents are putting a lot of pressure on you. And so their pressure on you is forcing you to put pressure on yourself as well. That's all. That's all it is. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. You're doing more for your recovery than you've done ever before. You're taking it very seriously. You're going to regular meetings, and you're putting everything you got into your recovery right now. And what happens is when we get to a place where we're putting everything we have into something, we start to focus on the results. We start focusing on achievement. And we stop focusing on the process. The process is what's making you feel good. The end result is fleeting. So most of us, when we get to that goal, it never feels as good as we thought it was going to feel. But who we become in the process is what's going to make the difference. So right now, you just have to be uncomfortable. I mean, you have to get comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. And the uncomfortable I'm talking about is just simply the idea that I feel like I'm running out of time. Correct? I'm wasting time. Yeah. I'm running out of time. I'm wasting time. I'm running out of time. There isn't enough time. I have all these goals. I have all these dreams. I have to get there. And all of a sudden I lose sight of what's important, who I am becoming. And so because I know your story, I know that you feel this pressure behind you. Like there's like you've got people behind you. What are you doing? What's going on? How's it going? Where's your progress? What'd you do this week? And now guess who's doing it to himself?
Myself.
Yeah. The learning and the modeling happens quick. We immediately, as soon as we start feeling, sometimes we adapt to what's being modeled to us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remind you that you know how to breathe, and that you're in your first year of recovery, and that my cat is driving me crazy. Get out. Hey, out. Did they both go out? Yeah. That was intentional. You see all that? That's what we call a pattern interrupt in NLP. All right. So, where were you at, Tree Life? What was going on?
Spinning my tires.
All right. All right. And now where you at?
Starting to take my foot off the gas and the brakes.
Mm-hmm. And then what?
Trust the process and understand that most likely I am still inside of a cocoon waiting to become a butterfly.
Are you okay with that?
I can learn to accept that. It's going to take time. And I mean, someone like me, time is the greatest value of life. I don't think that there's any greater value than my time. And I stress out more than anybody in this world. And I don't know why. You know, I can sit here and tell myself that I have an agenda to do and sit here and stare at the wall for 3 hours and do absolutely fucking nothing. I'm the biggest procrastinator. And, you know, that within itself kicks my ass because I'm like, what? Why can't you just do it? You're sitting here knowing you've been telling yourself to do it for 3 hours and you've wasted your time, and now you just get up and walk away and don't do it. You go distract yourself, and, you know, it's frustrating for sure.
That's why it's so important to do this foundational work. The foundational work is the most important work. You know, the other day somebody asked me, you know, how do you do what you do? I want to do what you do. You know, and I said, sure, no problem. I'll tell you how I did what I did. Okay, so first I train wrecked my life with cocaine, alcohol, lots of pills. Okay, lost everything. Okay, then dragged my ass into a 12-step room, begged for help, gift of desperation. And then I spent the first year doing exactly what my sponsor told me to do, staying away from people, places, and things, having a customer service job where I just answered phones. Okay. I had no dreams or aspirations or goals. I was just trying to survive. And then once I passed my first year, then I was allowed to sponsor some people, and that freaked me out. And then when I got a little bit of comfort with that, then I spent the next 10 years of my life sponsoring guys. Oh, wow. 10 years. Yeah. 10 years sponsoring guys for free. While I worked at a regular job, at a job, so that I could pay my bills. It doesn't happen overnight. There's things that I want. There's things that I want to accomplish. There's things that I want to achieve. One of them was to get my ex-wife back. If I would have gotten what I wanted, there you go. I see somebody in there shaking his head. No! Exactly. Exactly. If I would have gotten all the things I wanted right from the go, I probably would have relapsed. Because my best thinking got me into the rooms. I had to get my foundation down first. I had to do the work. And then when I was done doing the work, I had to do different work. And when I was done doing that work, I had to do more work and different work. And then finally, one day I have an aha moment. I go, I think 15 years into this, I can do something with this. I'm not saying it's going to take 15 years for everybody. I'm just saying that it took me a minimum of 10 years before I felt confident enough to say, I think I'm ready for my calling. I think I'm ready for my calling. So don't let anybody push you, especially yourself, Tree Life. Remember to breathe. Remember to do the foundational work in the morning. Remember to stay consistent with your routine, committed to your recovery program. Stay close to all of these people in here and your network. And allow yourself, give yourself the opportunity to learn and grow and naturally get to a place where the universe just starts presenting you with opportunities, where you stop going after and you just start allowing. All right. Oh, love you too, Tracy. She just said, I love you. Thank God for your example and wisdom is amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Tree Life, you good?
Yeah, I think so, man.
You sure you don't sound like it? You know, it doesn't sound like I'm not feeling the love, man.
Man, no, I have love for you because I think whatever your gift is, it is incredible, man. And you know, it's just I I have high ambitions and I know that they are attainable. And I know that what I can do for this world and offer this world, I want to leave I want to humbly leave behind a legacy, and it's going to take a lot of work to do. Um,
It is.
but I don't think I don't think that that's unattainable because my goals and aspirations of what I'm going to do, I will leave a legacy before I'm dead. I know that. Um,
How
it's
old are you?
I'm 27.
I hadn't even hit rock bottom at 27. I hit rock bottom at 31.
Shit, I hit rock bottom at fucking 18.
Well done. And now guess how old I am?
Judging by the weight, you've got to be in the 50s.
49.
49. I'm pretty close, man.
Yeah. It's called a body of work. This is it. This is my body of work. Everything that allows me to sit in this seat and say what I say and know what I know and connect with what I connect with all took 49 years to get here. And as the years go by, I get better. I get stronger. And that is my body of work will continue. But it took a 31-year-old guy losing everything, starting from zero, and working his ass off very vigilantly for a solid decade, getting into his 40s until he started to figure out that there was something more. And then I started going into other avenues of personal development and coaching. And then I started going through different programs and listening to other speakers and practicing my craft. And it was just this process that took years to get here. So I guess what I'm trying to embed you is that time is bullshit. Time is a gaffe. Okay. It doesn't exist. If I focus on time, I'm going to go nowhere. I have to focus on right. What time is it? It's now. The time is now. Okay. Who am I? I am this moment. That's it. The time is now, and I am this moment. And the only thing that matters is what I do right now in this moment. 3 hours later, staring at a wall, procrastination, right, means that I have lost my focus on what it is that I am doing right now in the moment, and I'm future tripping or regretting the past. Future tripping, regretting the past. Future tripping, regretting the past. I know you're ready, my friend. Peaceful warrior. That's the next. I
Yes,
want to hear a
Lord.
full report by next week.
Man, you're lucky I'm a journalist. You'll get a whole page.
All right. All right. So Tree Life was number 1. Who's number 2? Unless you want to give Tree Life some feedback. Does anyone want to give Tree Life some feedback, some encouragement, some love? Go ahead, Leo.
Hey, brother, you know I love the hell out of you. And part of me regrets sending you that email today because I think it might have pissed you off a little bit, and it wasn't meant to do that. I got you figured out though. You know what you are? With all love, you're a butt. You put butt at the end of everything. As soon as somebody says something nice, you put a butt on it, and it all goes away. And you don't let it sink in. And that's a skill that this man has taught me, is to let some good stuff sink in. So stop putting a comma and a but on everything and enjoy your success, my friend.
Well said, Leo. Well said. Love it. Loving the love. All right. So who in the room, I don't even know what to say, who in the Zoom call is currently struggling with something and could use a little coaching?
I mean, I can take the whole next half an hour. I mean,
I guess. Well, you know what? It's for those of you, for those that are ready to take action, are the spoils. So tell us, Tree Life, what's next?
fuck, man. I don't even. I want to do this newspaper so fucking bad. And I know that I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself, but that is the one thing that I procrastinate the most. And I know that that is one of the biggest things that's going to be in my recovery that's going to help me because journaling works well for me. It's as an outlet, but also the insight that I'm getting is going to help me change my life better. Like, I'm on the borderline of going vegetarian because I found enough evidence that it's healthier for me all the way around, and it's healthier for, I'm making better ethical choices and better moral values based upon my research. And so it's kind of a double-edged sword because it's creating a whole entity of a dream of a business with my best friend, and it's very well written. It's very well thought out. We have several roadmaps. We have several plans. It's all fail-proof because we bust our ass to do so. However, he and I are both like, it's my analogy is it's kind of vulgar, but if it's raining vaginas, I'm gonna get hit with the one dick that's falling in the sky, and it's just my luck. And we've both got we both got the same luck, and I feel like sometimes we're drag racing each other with our Jeep Wranglers blowing smoke around at each other, and we both got to look at each other and be like, hey man, let's chill out and let's kind of regroup our heads here and let's figure this out. And to me, like, I've always wanted to be a leader. I've always wanted to do what I've had the characteristics to be a strong leader. But again, I'm stuck in this position of recovery, and it's just the patience of taking the time, man. Like, I just think about my life and how impatient I have been, and everybody around me is, like, sitting in prison waiting for my blue piece of paper to tell me I can go home, and like, that's just anxiety ridden. I don't know, man. Like, I get the whole letting it sink in, letting it take time and all these things. But I'm so fucking impatient. I don't even understand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just don't understand.
So what is the highest intention? What is the highest intention, the highest purpose for the newspaper?
To deliver insight that is not being granted to the most of us.
And what insight would that be?
How to become a better human and to look out for the globe and not just this toxic ass America first mindset or China or Russia or anything. Like, the globe has a substantial amount of problems that are not being addressed because I live in the United States and right now it's just a political fucking shit show and nothing is being reported right now. Like, there's not glaciers falling down in Antarctica. Like, we're not facing climate change. Like, there's not underdeveloped, you know, like the list goes on, and somebody has to report this. Somebody has, if I want to live a life of longevity, right now the course we are on as a species is dangerous, and I feel like somebody has to fill those shoes to look out for the people.
Okay. And so how long do you think it will take for this vision to go global?
A long ass time. But a long time. But that's my goal. I don't plan on changing the world today or tonight. I plan on writing my ass off and, you know, letting it fix itself.
Okay.
You know, I'm not trying to change the world. I'm just trying to bring up information and insight for us to make better opinions and awarenesses in what we are given.
So what's preventing you from writing that content?
The same thing that's preventing me from doing recovery on a day-to-day basis. It's procrastination and lack of ambition. You know, just general overwhelmed stress.
Okay. But you have the time.
All in the time in the world.
So I'm going to ask again, what's preventing you from writing this content?
The answer should be nothing. But it's probably the amount of work that I know that I have to do and wanting to eat it all in one bite instead of taking it one day at a time.
The amount of work I have to do. Okay. Can anyone else relate to this? Listen to Tree Life's vision. I want to deliver insight that is not currently being delivered to the world. That is very, very important. That's not getting out there. How long is this going to take? A long fucking time. So what's happening is I have picked something so large, so big. I'm at a buffet with 600 options. I can only pick 3. I'm just mentally masturbating myself all day long. And I pick something so big and so large where I don't know where to begin, so I don't begin, so I don't fucking fail. You know, when people ask me about, they want to be a life coach, they always start with, okay, well, you know what? I'm thinking like, instead of just being like a life coach, I'm thinking about like a organic health specialist helping people evolve in their natural lifespan. Like, what's wrong with life coach? Well, there's just a million life coaches out there. You know what I mean? I want to be a transformational expert. a life mobilizing unit. And why do you think people are so concerned with their title when they're getting started, Tree Life?
Probably for like a factor of significance, or stand out from the pack, or something along those lines.
And why do you think they go so extreme sometimes?
'Cause it's what they know.
Maybe. What else could it be?
Ambition.
Stand out
Uniqueness.
and bend. Uniqueness. Okay. Keep going. What does being unique prevent you from doing?
Blending in.
What else? Keep going. You're close. If anyone else is thinking it, jump in. Keep going. You're close. Anybody?
Doing what's necessary.
Well, yeah, no, for sure. That's the end result. But when I get so unique, so specialized, what does that prevent me from doing?
Peeling the onion.
What's that?
Peeling the onion.
No, that's next. That's just like what what, go ahead.
Making mistakes.
Yeah, that's the next part. That's the second phase. Go ahead, Brian.
Selfishness. Helping others.
No, what it prevents you from doing is comparing yourself to others. When I am so unique and so specialized and so different. See, a life coach is a life coach is a life coach. It's like being a dentist. It's like being a doctor. It's like being anything that has a very universal title attached to it. And if there's 1,000 life coaches in a room, guess what I'm doing? Comparing myself to every single one of those life coaches, unless I'm a life transformational expert and not a life coach. Now, I don't know what to do with that, and I really don't know how to get the information that I need to really expand my practice because there's no one else out there like me. So now everything that everybody just mentioned kicks right in. It prevents me from taking action. It prevents me from being a part of. It prevents me from moving forward. It increases procrastination and uncertainty. So when I go so far out and I get so far broad and I create a buffet with so many options, guess what I do? Absolutely nothing. I have to pick something that is much more condensed, much more specific, and I have to risk. That maybe somebody else has something similar than what I do. But the idea is to actually be able to take action. And the easiest thing for me to do, if I want to move forward and take action, is to model someone that's already doing what I want to do. I'm going to repeat what I just said. The easiest way for me to be successful, the easiest way for me to move forward is for me to pick something that already has people that I can model myself after. Does that make sense? I'm getting a lot of head nods. Are you guys agreeing or disagreeing? Tree Life, we lost you.
Yeah, I know. As soon as somebody comes home, they steal my Wi-Fi.
All right. So what I was saying is the easiest way to succeed at what it is that you want to do is to pick something where you can model someone who's already doing what you want to do and model their success. That's the fastest way to be successful. So step number 1 in creating this newspaper should be what?
Researching who else is out there doing the same work as I am.
Bingo. Guess what that's going to allow you to do?
Reach out and connect.
Not procrastinate and take action. Research, my friend. Step 1. Who's currently doing what I want to do and how are they doing it? And if I want to go a step further, are they successful at what they're doing? And so what I do is I binge on Tony Robbins and Christine Hassler and Mastin Kipp and you name it. And I listen to motivational speakers and I listen to other people that are successful coaches. And I just listen and listen and listen and listen to what they're doing so that I can model the things that I want to apply for myself. It's the easiest thing to do. If there's 1 million people doing what I'm doing, I got 1 million people to research. If there's only one, I'm fucked. Okay. Is that making sense?
Yep.
Am I beating you up too hard?
No, man, I've got some pretty thick skin. You got to try harder than that.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So we're going to have to pivot a little. Okay? Because you and your friend are 2 giant 4-wheelers spinning your wheels, burning a lot of energy, doing absolutely nothing and going nowhere. So refocus and start creating content. Forget the newspaper. What you need is content. Before I launched my podcast, I interviewed 12 people before I launched my podcast. I needed content first. Then I launched. And then you stop spinning your wheels, bro. Because right now what it is you've just gone too broad. You've oversaturated your brain with information. You've become overwhelmed. And now I'm doing nothing. Instead, we just go, all right, dude, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to write 3 articles and you're going to write 3 articles. And we're going to send each other those 3 articles in 7 days. We're going to edit each other's articles and we're going to see if we're on the same page and if our vision is aligned. And that's it. So now I'm working on my recovery. I'm writing content. I'm communicating, connecting with my partner, and I'm no longer spinning my wheels.
It's that communication thing again, man.
Yeah, I hear you. When you're in your head, you're dead.
Truth.
Okay, anybody else got feedback on this information? Go ahead, Tori, bring it.
All right, Travis. First of all, like you sent me your newspaper and I thought it was friggin' awesome. So you have a lot of great content there. But I get like I totally get it because what I do is I have this idea in my head of all this big giant thing that I'm going to do, but actually doing it and setting forth the steps to do it is like, holy shit, where do I even begin? And for me, it's like today I have like, okay, you know, what I do on a weekly basis is a lot. So I have to break it down to what am I going to do today? What am I going to do tomorrow? And, you know, I wanted to be a writer a long time ago. And what I started doing to get into it was I emailed a website where in the city that I lived in, And I said, hey, I'll write for you for free just because I want to get my foot in the door. And after that, the guy that owned the website said, hey, I own this other website called Sober Nation. Do you want to write for me there? I said, oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, sure. Now, 3 years later, I developed a website, so called Sobriety Engine. So it's just kind of the little building blocks that get you where you are today is the baby steps. And so like, if you start making those baby steps and putting forth the effort, who knows where you're going to end up 3 years, 5 years from now. So, it's just one little thing at a time. So that's all I have.
How's this feeling, buddy?
I mean, it feels it's reassuring, I've definitely tried to break down like things. Like I've gone as far as getting like an 18-month planner and writing down all the things that I've done for the day, and journaling at night and all of those things. And like I'm a hypocrite because I like to say that Rome wasn't built in a day. Yes, Leo, but I'm. I need to know that Rome wasn't built in a day, and Rome didn't collapse in a day. It took time for both events to occur, and in the basis of both plates that I'm sitting here with recovery and my newspaper, they're both relatively about the same age, and that's pretty new, and it's just gonna be a process that I have to learn to trust. And I do like the analogy of the buffet because I might have to try something that I might not like, but I'll know that I won't like it for the next time. And I know that there's still 596 other options out there for me to try and taste and see what I like and see what I don't like. And that's just gonna take time, and it's just gonna take experimentation, and there's a certain amount of willingness and honesty that has to be applied within that to achieve what needs to be done, so that I can sit in a position 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now and be like, God damn, I've done a lot of work. The only way that that's going to happen is with patience
and vigilance and dedication.
That too.
So take your first year of recovery, just like they tell everybody else, and just focus on creating content for the next year, focusing on building my foundation for recovery for the next year, right? And then some sort of side hustle so I have a little bit of cash. Okay? That's called being an entrepreneur. Okay? That is called being an entrepreneur. It is work, side hustle, and my recovery. Go ahead, Tara.
I just had a quick question about the patience thing. That you have no patience, correct? Is that what you keep saying?
I need to work on more patience.
Okay. My question is, and it's going to sound kind of cliche, but have you tried yoga?
Oh yeah, lots of yoga,
Okay.
lots of meditation. I do some
Okay.
I do some really good meditations. I've gotten into koans
Okay.
lately.
Awesome.
Those have been some, yeah.
Because that's what helped me, because I had no patience. I had anger issues. And of course, 6 years later, I have kids too. So I guess that kind of helps. But yoga saved my life. So I just wanted to ask if you were into that, since I don't know you.
Yeah. Yoga has saved my life. It absolutely has. I'm a pretty big believer in Eastern mythology, religion, all of that stuff. I never got into
Awesome.
Western, so I'm all for the Eastern healing.
Okay, good. All right, so we got Sean in there. Go ahead, Sean.
hear me?
Yes, sir.
How about now?
Yes.
be a
Oh,
life
nice
coach, too.
mic. Very nice. Oh yeah.
So I think the thick skin strikes me as something that I lacked when I was starting out, but I think it's very helpful in that there'll be discouragement. I think it was Isaac Asimov or somebody that I used to read a lot when I was into science fiction, and said he wrote crap for years and years and years and years, but his repetition and his love of the activity got him to a point where he started to be better. And I'm not suggesting that's a path, because there's blues artists that come right out and play something. I think that you need some experience and falling down and getting some real life experience before you can just mimic something else and become a good artist. So there's probably experience versus raw talent. I liken it to, I've heard about Michelangelo David was seen already before the marble was even, chipped away at. But other of us chip away at the rock until something starts to come out. And it's the process of the excitement. You may not feel like you're a genius at what you do, but it's the love of it. I think it's that perspiration part that really makes a difference between the people that think they have an angle that's going to, or a gimmick that's going to get them somewhere. I don't think that, I think you have what it takes in your perseverance and things like that. And that's what gets a lot of people. I'm not by no means giving up on my dreams, but I realize that my need for approval and critical feedback really hurt my chances, because it was such a part of my belief system that I wouldn't even let anybody in. So that's where my recovery and my art form, or the music that I like to play, are suffering right now. And so if you can make a distinction between the two, that they're not, your best ideas aren't when you were stoned, or the things that you feel now are real and part of your recovery. I think that's also a big part of having a springboard to go somewhere with it, rather than going, well, I'll wait until there's it's just one aspect, and that's the part that I've been able to feel, is that the sobriety's first now, and my dreams hopefully are going to come back in some form, but sobriety, it's got to be through sobriety. And if it's anything else, if it's like, well, there's a compromise, there's no compromise when it comes to sobriety. And I've had a great week, Omar, with your suggestions. I feel like
Give us an update, Sean, please.
It's just feel like a different person than
you sound like a different person. I was just going to say, I don't even recognize this guy from last week.
Yeah, I mean, my journal, I looked at, wow, that was dark. I just wrote that, yesterday? I'm not one, and I think I talked about having leaps and bounds, and I don't think I have. It's just that I was anticipating a setback that didn't happen because of what I felt here. And visiting the younger youth, this younger person, it's been coming up in my dreams, and situationally that there's things that are starting to come back that aren't as overwhelming or depressing. And I just noticed that I was a spring in my step when there shouldn't be, or the reason, but I have to give credit where it's due. And I think it's this group, and then taking the next step, as you suggested. The 6, I read that, guys, about those, the things, the connection. And it sounded like people align with one or the other, and then the other ones are important, but they're not their primary. So my love and connection and significance made a lot of sense in there too. So, and I felt like I didn't wait for me to feel better. It just happened. If that makes any sense.
Of course it does.
I didn't like, oh, all right, tomorrow I'll try again. It just was immediately, there was a place to grow into where I felt I couldn't before. And, I could feel down next week, but this has been a really good week. And I just wanted to thank you guys. And I'm sorry I was getting a lot of work distractions today. That's what also I felt like there's probably only been 1 week since I've been trying to listen to these that I've had an uninterrupted hour, and that was last week. So I felt like that was the universe providing for me an opportunity when I just felt like I had nowhere to go at that point. So love you all. I'll pass for now. Thanks.
Who was on the call last week? Let me see, show of hands, who was on the call last week. I was on the call last week, Tree Life. Okay, so there was 3 of us. Watch that recording, guys. Corey was on the call. It's an incredible transformation just in Sean's smile, facial expression, complexion, overall aura. And as far as the whole idea of, you know, even as you were saying, you have to put your recovery first right now, Tree Life. Like, you have to allow yourself, give yourself the grace that you currently have. You have grace. You have been given grace. Allow that grace, honor that grace. And so when I had told Sean about the 6 human needs, to go and Google 6 human needs, Tony Robbins, most of us will fall under the need for certainty and significance. But ultimately, for true growth and for true fulfillment, your top 2 needs need to be growth and contribution. And right now, Tree Life, you're in the growth stage. You're trying to bypass the growth stage and go right to the contribution. I must grow first to effectively contribute in greater value. Right? And so yes, everything that Sean says, I will concur. And it's just, I'm blown away. I love seeing this, because I'll tell Sean the same thing I tell my clients. Whatever you let go of, whatever healed, okay, allow the healing to continue, and whatever you let go of, leave that shit in the back and keep moving forward, because he dropped something. He let something go, and he reconnected with the 16-year-old Sean? He reconnected with the 16-year-old Sean and was able to tap and connect back with the unconditional love, and then give it now back out into the world. And that is the real high. Corey, go.
Hey guys, yeah. So right along with what you were saying, Omar, like I kind of picked that from you last Thursday, which was like the significance part. It's like, well, how do I get significance in my job or my life or my family life? Or, you know, I want to put my mark on the world in some way. I want to be remembered for something, you know? And then you kind of went through all of those, and it was like, first you need to grow. And through that growth, then you contribute. And through the contribution, you then end up making connections, right, with people. And that's how you get your significance. You don't just go out and get significance right away by like, I'm going to get this fucking awesome job, make a ton of money, and then I'm going to be significant. You know, like, that's not going to get it for you. Like, we're here to grow and learn from each other and contribute, because that makes us feel good and fills us up. And that's how we get our significance, in a good way, and, you know, not in a bad way for the wrong reasons.
There is nothing more gratifying or significant than hearing your students being able to eloquently explain the 6 human needs. Well done, Corey. That was perfect.
Wax on, wax off, Miyagi.
Absolutely. I've only recently moved from Daniel-san to Mr. Miyagi, but it did take 49 years. So, Tree Life, another suggestion for you and anyone else: Iron Fist, the series, Marvel, Netflix. So you've got 2. Peaceful Warrior, that's not on Netflix, unfortunately, but everyone here, okay, highly recommend Peaceful Warrior. Find it. Netflix has the Iron Fist. And anytime you watch any sort of martial arts, Man, talk about patience. Everything is about the process. Watch Cobra Kai. Watch the original Karate Kid. Okay? He didn't get his ass kicked. He didn't get his ass kicked. Then Mr. Miyagi didn't like fix his ass up. And then the next day he went into the tournament and kicked the kid's ass. No. He had to paint Mr. Miyagi's paint his fence, wax all of his cars, rebuild a new room for himself in the back. He had to do all these things first without even knowing what he was doing. He had to trust the process and hope that Mr. Miyagi wasn't ripping him off and using him as free child labor. And your recovery, you might feel that way, Tree Life. I'm working all these steps and going to meetings and contributing. Nothing. I understand that. We all feel that way. With practice comes mastery. With mastery comes knowledge. And with knowledge comes strength. Practice. Oh, practice. And breathe, breathe. Breathe. Wax on, wax off. And breathe. Wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax off. Okay, 6 cars left. All right. Anyone else? What an incredible call. Any feedback, last words? Anyone else want to jump in? Then we will just see you all next Wednesday. Lots of love for everyone. Big applause.
Namaste.
Namaste.